Okay, let's see what is arrays. If x is of type integer, x gets the location when created or declared, I mean. If 10 is stored in x, then 10 gets stored in its location. In the next line, if I try to update x, say x plus 2, what happens to this 10? This gets updated with 12, right? Again, in the next location, if at all I try to increase the value of x by 1, then it gets updated to 13. So, in what's happening here? In 3 different statements, I am trying to update x value. X gets updated, but what is the current value in x after executing the statement? It's 13. Can I get back the 12 and 10? Not possible, right? Fine. There is a scenarios where there might be a situation where a variable need to store more than one value. For an example, suppose I need to store student marks. So if I create CCP as the variable and I need to store 60 values in it. Why I need to store 60 values in it? Because I can't create 60 variables that can store each student's marks in it, right? So I need to create only one variable, which is CCP, and I need to store all the 60 student marks in that variable. This is not possible with primitive variables, which can hold only one value at a time, as we saw in this example. When a programmer needs to store multiple values or n values in a particular variable, then he or she, the programmer uses arrays concept. So arrays is a derived type variable which can hold more than one value at a time. That means the creation of this variable need to convey the compiler it's an array type. How? With this example, I said I need to store 60 values in this variable CCP. So I'm going to specify the size. That means at the most this variable can hold 60 values in it. Coming to the syntax, data type, okay, data type, the variable name, whatever you would like to create. Okay, you can't see here, fine, let me write like this. Okay, data type, variable name, and within the subscript you specify the size being an positive integer, right? So this is the syntax for creating an array type variable. Now coming to the definition for arrays. Array is a variable which can hold multiple values all of same type, right? So it's a collection of n elements which are of same type. Also we can say a variable or an array variable can hold homogeneous values in it. That means it can hold more than one value at the same time, but all are of same type. So here CCP is an array variable which can hold 60 values, all are of which type? Integer type, right? Now, fine. 60 values is stored in CCP. Means the provision is made. So how is it represented in the memory location? So we have seen X has a memory allotted to it and a value gets stored in that location. Now we'll see when a array type variable is created, how is it getting memory allotted to it. So CCP will get contiguous memory locations, that is 60 locations will be allotted for CCP. Fine. So these contiguous 60 locations are allocated to CCP variable and each can hold integer type value. So coming to a 16-bit machine, so integer holds 2 bytes. So each location is of 2 bytes gets allotted to CCP. Say if it is starting from the location 1000, then the next value will be stored in 1002. Next will be stored in 1004 and so on. For 60 values it would be 1120, right? But here it's not 1120, it would be 118 as it is beginning from 00, right? Okay, the locations are like this. So 2 bytes for each location and so on and so forth. So 60 locations means 60 locations are allotted to CCP, which is contiguous, okay, in the memory location. Let's take a smaller example now. Let's not see for this 61. Let me take a simple example, a simple array which holds 5 values in it. So how is the memory allotted to it? So memory is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? It is stored here. Now let's see how do I initialize. So this was a declaration of an array, right? The statement. So let me see how do I initialize a array variable. So 5 is equal to, this is different statement, this is declaration with initialization, this statement is, okay, fine. So how do I initialize? I initialize it like this: I store 5, 6, 9, 1 with semicolon. Fine. So these values will reflect in the respective locations for A. Fine. The other way of initialization. Okay, let me take a fresh paper. Excuse me. So let me take the same example. Okay. Int A, which can hold up to 5 values. I would like to initialize with some values like this I had given, right? So A gets the location. Let me horizontally represent the memory location so don't get confused. So 2, 5, 9, 7, 1. Okay. So this is how it gets stored. This is one way of initializing. So these are different ways of initializing that I am teaching you. Initialization. This is one way. The second way is int A of 5. I store 2 and 5 only. So what happens in the location? There are 5 locations allotted for A, but first 2 locations are initialized to 2 and 5. rest are automatically initialized to 0. The other way of initialization is, say I set like this, so you'll be able to guess it. What are the values in the locations? All zeros. Fine. The other way of initialization, int a of 5, I declare it. Now I want to initialize it discretely, like location by location. In the previous example, let me take this. So now you saw that contiguous locations are allotted and the values are stored here. But how do I access each of these variables? That is, let me take this example, you will understand better. For CCP value, say suppose I have stored the marks according to the USN. So first value is USN 1 student, second value is USN 2, so on and so forth. So where is the marks of student 1 stored? In the very first location, say he or she has scored 25. Next student 35, next 16, so on and so forth, right? Now if at all I need to access the student of USN 3 marks, so I need to access the 16 I meant, right? How do I access it? So we have seen that just a CCP, like how do I try to print a X? I try to print X this way. How? %d say X. So it's going to print directly 13, right? Now I want to print the value that is at the third position. So now you need to analyze or think, how can I print this third value stored in CCP? If I can't directly print CCP, just observe how is the variable declared here along with the subscript. So it's a common sense. So each time when I'm trying to access array members or array values, elements, it should be through the subscript. So CCP subscript, this takes 0, 1, 2 to 59 values, which is called as index of the array. What is this index of the array? Index specifies that CCP of 0 is the very first value that is stored in the array. Okay, the index value is by default set from 0 to the size -1. So here, as you see, the size is what you are setting. Size is set here to 60. So 60 minus 1 is 59 is the last value's index value. Are you getting the point? CCP of 0 is the very first value of the array. The next element, that is the next value of this array, is at CCP of 1. Next CCP of 2 is 16. So what was I trying to print? I was trying to print the third value stored in CCP. So how do I access that now? Printf, I can give how? %d, right? Where is the value stored? If I have to access 16, how do I access? It is CCP of 2. So this is going to print which value? 16. Right? Fine. Going back to the other way of initializing. Now we all are familiar with indices, right? So now in this case, what is the index of 2? It is A of 0. This is A of 1, 2, 3 and 4. since the size is 5, the index begins from 0 and ends to 4. So totally 5 elements. So what is the last value index? It is the size minus 1, which is 5 minus 1, 4. So here also it's the same, right? Okay. Now the other way of initializing is int a of 5. Now a of 0 is equal to 2. A of 1 is equal to 5. Right? A of 2 is equal to say 16. A of 3 is equal to say 10. A of 4 is equal to say something 6. Right? So this is first way of initializing is while declaring only you are initializing, and it would be like this and it gets stored here. Here int a of 5, here this was as according to the size you initialize all the values, 5 values. Here though the size is 5, though the size is 5, you are going to initialize only the first 2 values, so rest are getting or set to 0. Next a of 5 I am setting all to 0, so all the values in the array become 0. In the next type it is I am declaring a of 5 which can hold 5 values, and I am discretely assigning a of 0 to 1, a of 1 to 5, a of 2 to 16, a of 3 to 10, a of 4 to 6. So but in the location how are they getting stored? You only can see a of 0. A of 0 is this location. A of 1 is 5. Next a of 2 is 16. A of 3 is 10. And a of 4 is 6. So this is array declaration and array initialization.